We bought a farmhouse. Wait, we what? Our story begins in the summer of 2021, while sitting in my pickup truck at the mall. I had repeatedly been seeing an MLS listing for an old farmhouse, and it had me intrigued. I knew it was old and run down, but there was something special about seeing this house that I just couldn't shake. It was like it was speaking to me. Come look, come look. I'd been wanting to move out of subdivision life for a while, to have a little more room to roam, a bigger garden, country air, quiet. I called my friend and realtor, and she agreed to set up an appointment to view the farmhouse. I had been randomly viewing properties over the years, but nothing really made me interested in making an offer. At times, my husband Scott would tag along to view a property, but he was less interested in moving than I was. On this particular day in July, he agreed to come with me. What? You want to see the farmhouse too? Our appointment was for 6 p.m. Arriving at the farmhouse, the first thing we saw were the enormous black walnut trees, which we later learned were original, likely planted the same year the farmhouse was built, in 1885. There were 2 of them, smothering the entrance to the home. Worse, they had clementine-sized walnuts loading every branch, which had started dropping their fruit like bombs when the breeze would blow. Dare not park under these branches, let alone stand under them. Wasting no time, we moved quickly to the entrance. Entering the home through the driveway sliding door, we landed into a mudroom, part of an addition we believe happened sometime in the 1960s. It's at this moment in time that I ask us to pause. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, imagine what 138 years of rodent feces and urine smells like. This is the house we were about to risk everything for. The smell was awful. The interior was dated, but the bones of the home were pretty solid. The layout was awkward, having had a few renovations and additions over her many years. The mudroom revealed evidence of 2 roof lines, and the house included 2 staircases. The only connection between the addition and the original farmhouse was a narrow passage from the kitchen to the living room. Although odd, the home had square footage and the potential to house our grown family of 4. The kitchen, located in the original side of the farmhouse, boasted the most vibrant red floral wallpaper and showcased not only food preparation, but laundry as well. There was a small door to a 2-piece bathroom completely in plain sight while standing in the kitchen. A shitter in the kitchen? The space opened up to reveal 2 equally sized main floor rooms and had a very small, narrow, L-shaped staircase leading upstairs to the original side of the home. At the top of the stairs was a large open area, 2 bedrooms, a 3-piece bath, and the most adorable doorway to a private outdoor balcony. Slanted ceilings were throughout, which is typical in an old farmhouse, and finally, one last passageway leading to a larger bedroom, which had a wonderful, original arched church window. Cuteness aside, there was peeling paint throughout and dark wood paneling. Tiles in the bathroom had peeled away from the walls and floor, surely from water damage and neglect. As we backed our way down the narrow staircase through the passage from the kitchen to the living room, we were greeted with a large stone fireplace. Unfortunately, though, the fireplace was not pretty, as the stones seemed off-center and sideways, and it looked incredibly heavy. As you came to the center of the room, you were finally greeted with natural light. Lots of it. Finally, I thought. Brightness. Now we were standing in the sunroom, with large floor-to-ceiling windows, but the space was quite narrow and awkward. Technically, at this point, we had made a full loop around the perimeter of the home, and although we could see the entrance we had come in through, there was an odd glass partition that didn't allow you into that space. All we could do was go up the second staircase to the second upstairs area. This was yet another addition to the home we believe happened in 1980. It was set up like a small bachelor apartment. There was a large open area with a closet, a kitchenette, and a 3-piece bathroom. There was also remnants of an original window that peekabooed into the original part of the home, and yet another private balcony. I have to admit, I was pretty delighted with all these balconies. We ventured back downstairs and headed to the basement. Oh boy, I had never seen an old fieldstone basement before, and now I was standing in the middle of one. The large oil tank and furnace occupied most of the space, and it was daunting. Big and ugly, threatening feeling even. The space was dingy, musty, full of dust, and in every single corner of the space there was mouse poison and traps. Ugh. Back on the main floor, we ventured outside to walk the perimeter of the property. Yielding just over 3 acres, I was so excited. To have acreage 5 minutes from town was such a bonus. As we walked to the west side of the property, it revealed a very large and very scary falling over concrete structure. Its walls were 2 feet thick. It was a woodshed. It looked original to the farmhouse, and 2 of its walls had serious structural issues. I think the sheer thickness of those walls is what was keeping it from caving in. It was at this moment that my husband and I looked at each other and wanted to walk away. The woodshed was the last straw to this very old home. We were far from our comfort zone, and we wanted to leave. It was the realtor contractor who calmed our nerves and mentioned that the woodshed could be demolished within an hour. Having her there to field our construction concerns helped guide us with our thoughts. Our 6 p.m. appointment lasted 4 hours, 30 minutes to walk the home inside, and 3.5 hours standing in the driveway, talking, pondering, thinking, falling in love with an idea. At roughly 10 p.m., Scott and I went home, gathered our 2 boys to the kitchen table, and asked them what they thought of our plan.